Okay.
Good morning, everyone. We're also part of the group 2. We're Tim and Vedran, and we'll present you the area 2.
Basically, this area.
What we can say, it's compared to the other areas, it's very different because it lays between the railway, which we have here, and the highway going from Zurich to Aargau. So it's a very disconnected area, and we won't find housing there. As we said, it's a little bit different, so we'll only find special district zones. And we took an analysis of different locations in the zone, and we will see that the density going from Aargau, or let's say Schlieren, to the city will always get denser and higher. We'll first start with sport facilities, then go to allotment gardens, then to
Story houses.
And our last topology will be office buildings. That's how we named the topologies. That's our area, as we said before. And here we can see our topologies with the sports facilities. On the previous presentation, we kind of tried to get a rule where we kind of tried to figure out how what's the relation between the sport fields and the changing rooms, the sports facilities. And as the second topology, the allotment gardens, they have a very specific plot size which you can rent, and the story halls who are orientated to the railway station, they have an orientation to the Aargaustrasse it is. To the Aargaustrasse where the highway is. And as the last topology, we have the office buildings where they actually take the whole width of these 200 meters. And as we can see in the section, it gets higher and higher, and denser and denser. As we can see here also, the most part is special district, but we also try to get into the single buildings and to get their function. So we have, as shown before, we have here the office. Sorry, it's already the next slide. And the story halls. Down here we have some housing, but we didn't take a closer look to them because the other groups, they relate to the other groups, so the topologies are the same. We're more interested in really this strip to get most of the topologies of it.
Yeah. Okay, this was the first type, the sport facilities. It's the use, or the reason why it's there, maybe it's just an infill because you cannot live there, and they are going to wait for more office buildings or whatever. We also explored that, for example, at the area of the allotment gardens here, there will be a sports stadium or an ice hockey stadium be built. So basically, this is an area which is optimized for huge infrastructure or huge buildings, because you can get really good there. The access is good for huge infrastructure, but there's no small or street system. So there's only these main roads, and so small functions and small buildings. It doesn't make sense there. But till this is going to be built, uses like the sports and the allotment gardens will be there. So we try to put them in rule files, and yeah, this is our proposal for Schrebergärten. Yeah, it's basically the same as the other group has found out. It's small lots, many small buildings. Lot size about 10 to 17 meters here, and then just filled the ground. The next typology were the story houses. And we found out that they were only orientated to the Vulkanstraße close to the railway station. And we found two typologies there. One's the story hall, which is orientated only to one side, and it uses all the parcel lots. They are really
They're very deep.
yeah. And at the Vulkanstraße, so there's sometimes a kind of a office. Sorry. There's an office building more representative uses at the street side. So, and then we try to integrate some random functions for texturizing and maybe the pillar distance and so on, and so that we can get some variances into the visual output. And in the background, you can already see some office types. So we really try to rebuild most buildings we found there. And yeah, maybe the best would be to get to the shadow analysis. As you can see, as the density rises, also the shadow zones. It's getting darker and darker, but I don't know. I mean, it's office building and it's for story halls, so we don't really can draw a conclusion because it's not a living or residential area. So
I guess there's as well some error because I think it's not recognized as there's a pretty much reflection from glazings and so on. So it's actually not so dark in the end, but yeah. But what is a nice indicator is about how much you could actually harvest through the surface, for instance, solar radiation in wintertime or not. So it gives you as well a trend. The one side thing is that you have the occlusion, shadow occlusion, but the other thing is that you could maybe if you have more sun exposure in the wintertime, it makes more sense perhaps. So okay. Mm-hmm.
So now also some sunlight visualizations. Yeah, and as you can see, in the deep story halls, there's less light, and in the inside areas of the block typologies of the offices, it's enough light. And then we made some visibility analysis on certain points. For example, the big Dudler high-rise office building, or a local bank, or a local store, small store.
Local store. Shopping opportunities.
Yeah. And
as you can see here also, they're either on the one way or on the other orientated.
Yes.
We didn't manage to get renderings because we had some problems with the import, but we tried to do some stuff in Photoshop.
Okay.
yeah, this is in comparison to the views before, to the pictures before, those pictures are more from the human side, from the human view, from the street side, and yeah, just to get an impression or an image of the areas. So this is the star, the cars shop before with the story halls and the office buildings in the back. And, some story halls and maybe a street view from the office district with 3 to 4 different typologies of facades. And also, yeah, really try to get deep in detail for those facades and the Doodler building.
Okay, great. So as you have just one area, maybe as well interested to do the selective thesis, to get your nice renderings out for the portfolio of yours later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we are.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a pity because we really
but
push.
if you like to really, I think I'm quite honest here. We really looking forward to have such nice visualizations as you have seen with the others. Some of you, this web-based application and some tools that we have on site that you could use to enhance and to test and verify, and then you can load them finally into a reality server. And if you do a group work, maybe 4, maybe 6 people, then it would be actually kind of interesting to find out how you actually can set up this Altstetten area as a 3D model, but this could be explored on a high-end computer through the internet. So, and you of course can download your best shots and everything else as well. So this is an opportunity, what you can do. So the only work would be to set up the model, no documentation so much, just the presentation in the end of the model. And so if you're interested, I will give you some details after the presentation, okay. So, yeah, nice work, thank you very much.